August feels like the finish line. Your tomatoes are loaded, your squash has taken over the yard, and every instinct is telling you the garden is winding down. That instinct is wrong, and it's costing you. Right now, there's a narrow planting window that experienced gardeners quietly use every single year, and the ones who miss it spend all fall and winter regretting it. Today, I'm giving you the 5 seeds you absolutely must start in August. Not September, not next spring, August. And if you stick around to the end, I'm telling you about seed number 5, the one almost every gardening channel conveniently forgets to mention. There's a reason they skip it. You'll understand once we get there. Before we get into it, if this is the kind of gardening content that actually respects your time and gets straight to what works, do me a favor and hit subscribe right now. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it means you won't miss the next window like this one. All right, let's get into it. Here's what most people get wrong about August planting. Your soil right now isn't spring soil. Spring soil is cold, reluctant, barely above 50 degrees. Seeds sit there sulking for weeks before anything happens. August soil is different. It's been baking under the sun for months. It's deeply, thoroughly warm. Drop a seed into that soil, and it wakes up fast. Germination that takes 3 weeks in spring can happen in days right now. At the same time, the air is starting to shift. Not cold yet, just easing off that peak summer stress that cool season crops hate. Warm soil, cooling air. That combination is a green light for a specific group of crops most people never think to plant this late. The question is, do you know which ones? Most gardeners don't. And that's not their fault. Almost all gardening advice out there is written for spring. August is the forgotten chapter of the calendar. Not today. Seed number 1 is kale. And before you tune out because you had one sad, bitter kale salad in 2019 and swore it off, hang on, because August-started kale is a completely different plant. Here's the micro secret. When kale goes through a frost, something happens inside the leaf. The cold triggers the plant to convert its stored starches into sugar. It's a survival response. The plant is essentially protecting itself from freezing by sweetening its own cells. The result is a leaf that's tender, mildly sweet, and nothing like the tough stuff you get at the grocery store. But that transformation only works if the plant is mature before the frost hits. Start kale in September, and you get small, underdeveloped plants that never had time to build up those sugar reserves. The frost comes, and instead of sweetness, you just get wilted, stressed-out leaves. Most kale varieties need 55 to 65 days to mature. Start now, early to mid-August, and your plants will be full-grown by the time the first real frosts show up in October. Directly sow the seeds about 1/4 inch deep, roughly 18 inches apart if you want big plants, or closer together and thin as you go. The thinnings make excellent baby greens. You'll see seedlings within about a week, and here's the part that surprises people. In zones 7 through 9, August-planted kale doesn't just survive winter. It can keep producing clear through February. That's 7 months of fresh greens off one planting. Seed number 2 is one almost nobody thinks to start in August, and it's about to change how you use your garden space for the entire fall. Keep watching. Seed number 2 is spinach, and most people only ever plant it in spring, then forget it exists for the rest of the year. That's a mistake, because fall spinach is, in a lot of ways, better than spring spinach. Here's why. Spring spinach is racing the heat from the moment it germinates. As temperatures climb, spinach bolts. It throws up a seed stalk, the leaves turn bitter, and the whole plant is done. You might get 2 or 3 good weeks of harvest before it's over. Fall spinach doesn't have that problem. Yes, you're starting it in warm soil, but the days ahead are getting shorter and cooler, not hotter. The plant never feels that reproductive panic. It just keeps producing leaves for weeks on end. The one catch: spinach seed can struggle to germinate in hot soil. 2 fixes. First, pre-sprout your seeds. Wrap them in a damp paper towel, seal it in a plastic bag, and stick it in the fridge for about a week. This tricks the seed into thinking it's already been through a cold snap, which breaks dormancy. You'll see little white roots after about a week, and that's when you sow them directly into the garden. Second, shade the seed bed. A piece of row cover, or even a board laid over the soil for a few days, can drop the soil temperature enough to get a clean germination. Pull the cover once seedlings emerge. Sow the seeds about half an inch deep, 2 inches apart, then thin to 6 inches as they grow, and don't waste the thinnings, they're edible. With a 40 to 50-day growing season, August planted spinach is ready by October, and if you throw a low tunnel or cold frame over it, you can keep harvesting well into December. Seeds 1 and 2 are the ones most experienced gardeners already know. Seed number 3 is where this gets genuinely interesting. This one surprises people every time. Stay with me. Seed number 3 is beets. And beets might be the most underrated crop in the American garden, especially when it comes to August planting. Here's what most people don't realize. Beets give you 2 crops in one. The root, obviously, but also the greens. And beet greens sautéed with a little garlic and olive oil are genuinely delicious. In a fall garden where space is tight, growing one plant that gives you 2 harvests is a huge efficiency win. Beets also handle cold shockingly well. A mature mulched beet can survive down into the mid-20s. And just like kale, they don't just tolerate the cold, they get sweeter from it. The same starch-to-sugar conversion happens underground. A beet that's been through a few frosts before harvest has a depth of flavor a summer-grown beet simply can't match. But you need time to get there. Most beet varieties take 55 to 70 days to reach full maturity. Plant in late July or early August, and you're set up for an October to November harvest. Wait until September, and your roots will still be small when the hard freezes hit. Now here's the surprising fact. What you see in a seed packet as one beet seed is actually not one seed at all. It's a cluster. Each little cork-like pellet contains 2 to 4 actual seeds fused together. This is exactly why beets always need thinning. Skip it, and the roots crowd each other out, and none of them develop properly. Sow the seeds about half an inch deep, 3 to 4 inches apart. Once seedlings are a few inches tall, thin to 4 to 6 inches, and toss the thinnings in a salad. For varieties, Detroit Dark Red is a reliable classic. Chioggia gives you those famous candy stripe interiors, and Bull's Blood has deep burgundy leaves that make it one of the best-looking plants in a fall garden. Real quick, if this is actually useful, if it's changing how you're thinking about your fall garden, the simplest thing you can do right now is hit that like button. Takes 1 second, and it genuinely helps get this in front of other gardeners who need to see it before this window closes. You know what it feels like to learn something that changes your results. Pass it forward, hit like, and let's keep going. Seed number 4 is radishes, but not the ones you're picturing. Most people think of the small, round, red radishes from the grocery store. Those mature in 25 to 30 days and bolt the second it gets hot. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about daikon and other winter radishes. Completely different plant. Daikon can grow 18 inches long and 2 inches thick, mild, crunchy, and versatile enough to eat raw, roasted, fermented, or pickled. But in the garden, they do something that has nothing to do with eating them. Daikon radishes are sometimes called tillage radishes or groundbreaker radishes for a reason. That massive root drives straight down through compacted soil, breaking it up and pulling nutrients up from deep in the profile. When it decomposes over winter, it leaves behind channels that dramatically improve drainage and aeration. If your soil is heavy clay or compacted, a cover planting of daikon in August is one of the best long-term things you can do for your garden, even if you never pull a single one to eat. Though you should, because they're genuinely good. Sow daikon seeds about half an inch deep, 6 inches apart, in rows a foot apart. They need loose, deep soil. If yours is compacted, loosen it with a fork to at least 12 inches down first. Daikon takes about 60 days, so start now and you'll be harvesting before Halloween. And then there's the novelty pick, watermelon radish. On the outside, pale green, completely unremarkable. You'd walk right past it. Slice one open, and the inside is a shocking, almost artificial-looking magenta pink. It takes 60 to 70 days, and visually, it might be the single most striking thing you grow all fall. 4 seeds down, all of them real, practical, proven picks for your August garden. But seed number 5 is the one I promised you at the very beginning, the one most channels conveniently leave out. We're almost there. Stay with me. Seed number 5 is garlic, and yes, technically it's a clove, not a seed. But it behaves exactly like one once it's in the ground, and it earns its spot on this list because it might be the single most rewarding decision you make in your August garden. Here's what most channels won't tell you. Almost every piece of gardening content says plant garlic in October or November. That's not wrong, but there's a subset of varieties that actually do better starting in August. Softneck varieties, specifically, in warmer climates, zone 7 and up, can go in as early as late August to early September and thrive. But here's the real secret. The reason this window matters even if you're not planting yet. August is when you need to be sourcing your seed garlic. Wait until October to start thinking about it, and the best varieties are already gone. Every single year, without exception. The gardeners who plan ahead in August are the ones who end up with music, chestnut red, inchelium red, the good stuff. The gardeners who wait get whatever's left on the shelf. Garlic planted in late August or September in zone 7 and warmer has time to send out roots, establish itself, sometimes even push up a little green shoot before winter sets in. That early root system means a massive head start come spring, and the bulbs from early planted garlic are consistently, noticeably bigger. Plant the clove pointy end up, about 2 inches deep, 6 inches apart. Mulch heavily. In warmer zones, that mulch moderates soil temperature through the mild winter. Harvest comes next June or July. Sit with that for a second. You're planting something in August that you won't touch again until next summer. That's not just gardening. That's patience. That's trust in a process you can't see working. That's what separates people who think in seasons from people who think in days. Garlic in August is a message to your future self, and your future self is going to thank you for it. Here's the truth about August gardening I want you to walk away with. Every great garden is built by someone who refused to check out just because it got easy to. Summer is busy and beautiful and full of harvests, and it's so tempting to coast, to tell yourself you'll pick it back up next spring. But the gardeners who plant in August are different. They know the ground doesn't rest just because the calendar says summer's winding down. They know right now, this week, there are seeds that want to go into that warm soil, and they put them there. That's you now, because you just watched this whole video, which tells me you're not someone who coasts. So here's what I'll ask. If even one of these 5 seeds gave you an idea you're actually going to use, share this with someone who gardens, a friend, a family member, someone in your gardening group who's about to miss this window because nobody told them. You can be the one who tells them. And if you haven't hit like yet, there's really no reason not to now. It takes one tap, and it puts this in front of the people who need it. If you want to go a step further, there's a link below where you can support the Greenhaven Farm directly. No pressure, just there if you ever feel like it. Go plant something. Your August garden is waiting. I'll see you in the next video.